In this video, we'll show you how to change the inner and outer tie rods on your Chevy Silverado. You can find it on CarParts.com via the link in the description. For safety reasons, we strongly suggest watching our video on how to jack your Chevy Silverado safely. Turn the brake disc inward to make this operation easier. You can now see the outer tie rod. The components to be removed are very often seized up, so don't hesitate to brush and to use penetrating oil to make removal easier. With a marker, trace a line between the inner tie rod and the outer tie rod. This will be useful later on during its assembly and disassembly. With a 24mm wrench, loosen the lock nut on the outer tie rod. Hold the inner tie rod with a 22mm wrench to prevent it from turning. The lock nut is there to prevent any rotation of the two parts towards each other, which could have an impact on the wheel alignment of your vehicle. Using a ratchet and a 10mm socket, hold the ball joint to prevent it from turning. Using a 21mm wrench, unscrew the outer tie rod holding nut. If you do not have a ball joint puller, a tool specifically designed for this task, take a hammer and hit the knuckle. The ball joint should come out of the knuckle. Unscrew the outer tie rod and remove it. Use the markings made with the marker to return the lock nut to its original position. Then, measure the distance between the lock nut and the end of the inner tie rod using a caliper. In any case, a wheel alignment check will have to be carried out by a professional soon after having performed this operation. Remove the lock nut from the inner tie rod. With pliers, remove the external metal clip on the protective sleeve of the inner tie rod. Using a flathead screwdriver, remove the waterproof clip on the sleeve. Remove the sleeve. Remove the waterproof clip on the sleeve. Hey, it's Alex from CarParts.com. For great content, our best price, and fast shipping, download the CarParts.com app now. Using a tie rod removal wrench, a specific tool for carrying out this job, you can now loosen everything without difficulty. To do this, insert the tool up to the fixed part of the inner tie rod. Then, with the help of a breaker bar, unscrew the inner tie rod. If the inner tie rod is dented, you can loosen it using an adjustable wrench. Clean the part of the steering rack that will be in contact with the protective sleeve of the inner tie rod. You can order the inner and outer tie rods used in the video on CarParts.com via the link in the description. Take the new inner tie rod and unscrew the lock nut supplied with it. Before installing the new inner tie rod, apply a medium thread locker to prevent accidental unscrewing. Put the inner tie rod back on the steering rack. Still using the same tool or using an adjustable wrench, screw the inner tie rod back in. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Then remove the tool. Now take the new sleeve and clamps provided in the kit. Then apply silicone grease to the part of the sleeve that will be in contact with the steering rack and the part in contact with the inner tie rod. Then position the inner collar correctly. Place the sleeve on the shock steering rack. You can now crimp the collar with collar pliers or pincers. During this operation, you will work on the steering system of your vehicle. A professional alignment check should be performed to ensure that your steering system is once again perfectly adjusted and functioning. Replace the outer collar. Screw the lock nut back on until the distance measured with the caliper is reached. Take the new outer tie rod and unscrew the lock nut supplied with it. Put the outer tie rod back in place until it touches the lock nut. Clean the outer tie rod bearing surface with paper towels. Using a wire brush, scrub the knuckle. Then apply silicone grease to the flat part that will be in contact with the sleeve of the outer tie rod. Do not grease the inside of the cone. Put the outer tie rod back in place in the knuckle. Put the nut supplied with the new part in place and tighten it using a 1 1/16 inch wrench. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Take the cotter pin and fit it into the castle nut. You can now bend the cotter pin. Finish tightening the lock nut using a 24mm wrench by holding the inner tie rod still with the help of a 16mm wrench to avoid damaging the outer tie rod. Screw the grease fitting onto the top of the outer tie rod by hand at first, then using a 7mm wrench to lock it in place. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. Put the car back on the ground and block the wheels properly. Operation complete.
Quality parts, priced right, CarParts.com.